All right. So, welcome to this video. I hope the audio sounds pretty good. Let me give you a quick airplane pitch as to what this video is. Let me start my stopwatch so I know how long I'm recording. So essentially, as you guys may have seen if you're not new to the channel, I finally set up a studio. This is only one corner of it. And this is kind of like a makeshift setup. I don't have a tripod for my phone, which is my camera, my iPhone 11 Pro Max at the moment, with this plugged in over USB adapter. I want to set up like an actual recording area. So when you're seeing me, there's cool stuff behind you. It's kind of cluttery right now. I kind of threw it together last minute. I want to start a video podcast on this channel. That's what this is. This is the first episode. Hopefully we'll have more. So let me give you a brief description of what I'm trying to do with this video podcast. So I used to, in the past, still do, go for long streaks without recording videos. Finally record a video. I just recorded 8 Animal Crossing videos that I'm going to be posting on top of the Mario Maker videos. I've been home on vacation this week. We'll get to all that in a little bit. So what I wanted to do is stop making those videos where I have to explain what's going on with the channel. So I feel like when I took a break and I'd come back, I'd always have to post an explainer like, oh, I'm sorry I was gone for this amount of time. This is what I'm going to be doing. Even those times where I was consistent for like 3 weeks to a month, and halfway through the month, I'd be like, I want to try something different. I'd have to post a whole video explaining why. And I really hate that because it's not fun content to watch. And if you're not somebody who really cares, it's really, I'm making it for myself, is what it felt like to me anyway. So this will be a way for me to avoid doing that, as well as a few other things. So I want to do this weekly, preferably every Wednesday. I'm recording it right now on a Wednesday. I'm going to do a little quick edit and throw it up. So this very first video is going to be a little janky. Probably not very many edits. I'm going to, because it in spirit is going to be a podcast, I want it to be pretty straightforward and freeform, as opposed to like a normal video where I'd edit, every couple of seconds there's a cut or a transition, or I'm cleaning out dead space, or times when I go like, what's the next thing I want to say? You know what I mean? I'm going to keep pretty much all of that in here. A couple exceptions, not that they matter, but like if my dogs start barking downstairs and I go see what's going on, obviously I'll cut that out. Or my cell phone rings because I forgot to put it in airplane mode, or something like that happens. But the general idea is we're to keep this going as a straightforward podcast. As of right now, it's only going to be a one-man podcast, which I know sometimes sounds a little boring. But the point of this podcast is two things. One, it's going to be weekly. Well, it's going to be weekly. But one, it's going to essentially be the bulletin board. Hey, what's going on? Hey, these are the videos I filmed this week. This is what I'm planning on next week, what I'm coming up with. So like an information download. So they don't have to make a new video every time I'm like, I want to change some things up. This way it's weekly. It's consistent. You guys always know what's going on. Second, there were a lot of videos I used to do back in the day that I don't do anymore, that I'd like to get back to, but they just don't quite fit the way I'm changing the channel. As some of you may notice, it's been a very all over the place lately, and we'll dive into it a little bit, but essentially the way my work schedule and life schedule is set up now, I can't really daily vlog. Not that I really could when I wanted to, but I'm not in a position to film a video every day, edit a video every day, post a video every day. I still would love to. One day maybe if my career changes, that would be something I would look into doing. For the time being though, that is just not tangible. So lost my train of thought. So videos I used to make and couldn't really fit into the new style of the channel. So I used to make a lot of advice or let's chat videos where essentially I'd pick a topic and then I'd kind of talk about it for a while and give my genuine feedback and thoughts and advice on it. I always loved those videos because they were the most positive. The comments and the stuff that came out of it was always the most uplifting, made me feel the best, helped others through their own words feel the best. not the best, but you know what I mean. Feel good, positive. And I want to do that again, but I want to evolve it. And the reason I thought video podcast format would be a great way to do it is it still feels like those videos, but now I can do it in a style that's more open-ended. So rather than picking one topic, going for, I don't know, whatever my videos used to be back then, 6 to 12 minutes, give or take the topic. I want this podcast to be like rough and tough a half hour, maybe, at least at first. We'll see where we go with it. And I would like to eventually, once I get everything set up, maybe start doing some live streams instead of just recording it silently by myself. Days I know I won't have interruptions. So that way, if you guys want to jump in and submit things to either ask questions or say, hey, what are your thoughts on this? I can just do it. So they're the two reasons I want to do this. We're just going to call it Doesn't Have to Make Sense Podcast. The It Doesn't Have to Make Sense Podcast. And it's, for right now, only going to be video based. If you guys want me to, I'll start uploading them as audio. But I don't really, at least at first, these are going to be much more heavily tiered towards the stuff I'm doing on my YouTube channel. So it wouldn't make sense for me to just randomly post this out to the internet like, hey, listen to this podcast where I talk about my YouTube channel that you're not subscribed to, if that makes any sense. The other thing is, I used to love doing podcasts. Like me, David, and Borky used to do the Undead podcast, which I think I posted 1 or 2 videos of on this channel. But we have a whole SoundCloud. Me and David are restarting that. First episode will be posted tomorrow. And then we're getting back into it, essentially. But the only thing I disliked about doing the group podcast is you have to all be available, all be ready to go. There's slight different ideas on what you want to do that episode or overall in the show format. And because it was always my idea to just do the podcast, and it was finally an idea I was able to get people on board to do with me, I just kind of leaned into, I'm just happy we're doing this. You guys tell me what you want to do. Well, I'm game for whatever. This is something that I want to do for me, for my channel, and it's going to be 100% what I want, minus feedback from you guys, of course, but it'll be nice not to have to worry about creative differences. I said that like we're a band breaking up. What I mean is like, if I want to try something different, I don't have to like run the idea by somebody and we talk about it and figure out if we're going to do it. And just do it, which is nice. But this isn't going to just be about my channel. I do eventually want to turn it into its own standalone podcast. If it, outgrows my YouTube channel. I don't know if it will. It may never. But that's the direction I eventually want to push it towards. So we will be chatting about, all types of stuff, whether it's the, current crisis going on right now, whether it's like a new iPad refresh from Apple, whether it's a new video game that just came out, which is Last of Us 2. I can't wait for that. We'll get into that eventually. And all different types of topics. So I want to keep it initially about my YouTube channel, but I want to really position, like, after this video, like maybe 3 to 5 minutes of the whole podcast to mention my YouTube channel. The rest I want it to be like advice driven or question driven or user feedback driven or responding to comments that you guys post on my videos, or I don't know, any other number of things, talking about current events and all that. Oops, excuse me. Now, with that being said, we've already recorded for, 10 minutes? Let me check the timer. See, I have my own stopwatch on my watch set, so I know how long we're recording, because the cameras, I'm using my iPhone to record, and the cameras are facing me, so the screen's on the other side. So every once in a while, I'm going to get up and get nervously check to make sure it's still recording, because I can't see if it's still recording, which is, like I said, episode 1, I'm figuring this all out. But as I was saying, we're 10 minutes in, and all that was just explaining this concept. And I used to have to do videos like that all the time. Have to is the wrong word. I used to feel the need to, when there really wasn't a need to. So this will be my way to vent that stuff out. We're going to do it weekly, every Wednesday. I'm not always going to record every Wednesday, but I'm going to push it every Wednesday. I'm just recording it today because I had this idea over the last couple days, but I've been buried in Animal Crossing. It's been so much fun. I've already recorded 8 videos. The next episode. So if you watched yesterday's video, apologies. I waited up until midnight on last Friday to play it because I had downloaded it. I was waiting for it to unlock, and it took like till 12:25. And I usually use my desktop, older desktop, to record anytime I have to do gameplay content. But it's getting really slow. The reason I haven't used my much faster laptop is mostly because just knowing that the desktop's always sitting over there, the microphone's always plugged into it, it's always on, so I can just wake it up from sleep and hit record. So it's just convenient, whereas the laptop moves around a little bit. Not that I use my laptop that much anymore, but it is much more powerful. So I tried to switch to that so that I could use a faster thing to record, because I was going to live stream it. But that's why in the beginning you hear me talk about technical difficulties. The technical difficulties were me trying to switch to the laptop, get, the recording software installed, go through all that, and then the microphone wasn't working for some reason, and it was already like 12:20, and I was like, I don't want to figure this out right now, I just want to start playing. So then I had to switch everything back to the desktop, which was a pain in the butt as it already was. And then, as I said, my desktop's getting older, the hard drive is starting to fail, so I have to swap that out. All the contents, everything on there is backed up already. I have an SSD that I'm going to put in it. I just... It's not laziness. It's just I'm constantly using it for things so often that taking it down while also reinstalling Windows, setting up all the software again, making sure that content is backed up in an easy to reach location, because right now it's backed up to the cloud, but then I'd have the SSD is a smaller size than the current hard drive, so I couldn't just mirror it all back. So then making sure it's all organized correctly in the cloud so it's easy to come back and forth. And then the 3 hours that I have to do that, it's just a time drain. And I know I'm going to be mad when the hard drive finally is like, nope, we're done, and I can't do anything but fix it. So I'm going to do that eventually. Hopefully sooner than later. I'm off on vacation all week, so hopefully I get that done probably tomorrow. I might not do it tomorrow. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know. But because I did all that, the old hard drive's not working too well. When I finally went and clicked stream on the old desktop, then it was like I forget the actual error message, but essentially the hard drive isn't spinning fast enough to record content and stream it. And I always like to record and stream, so that way I have a full non-compressed version of the file. Because if you stream something and it lags a little bit, or the network drops, that part of the video is just gone, or like pixelated or messed up, which I'm not necessarily concerned about because I pay for 300 megs up and down, so I have the speed, but I'm also a worrywart, so I don't have to worry about that. So if I have the full HD backup, I can edit it any way I want. It splits it into separate channels, so I have just the game footage, I have my face, I have the audio commentary all separate. So if any one of those 3 parts doesn't work correctly, let me rephrase that. I have one file that has all of that included, then a separate file that has the game video and audio, a separate file for the webcam footage, and a separate file for the audio commentary. So if the complete file for some reason is lacking, or one of those parts isn't messed up, I can just re-bring it back in from the raw files. I know, I'm a little bit in the weeds here, and that's a little bit extreme, but I prefer to do that. So because the hard drive is not spinning fast enough, I can't stream from it right now unless I don't have it back up while it's streaming. And I'm not going to do that. So I was like, I can't stream right now. Oh, this would be the best time to stream because it's Animal Crossing, it's release night. If anyone doesn't have it, they're going to be trying to watch it. It would have been a great time to like bump up my streaming numbers a little bit. Plus it would have been fun to play. Because when you first go to stream a game, unless you're a big guy already, you don't get a lot of users or feedback or comments. But if you do it on launch night, you're much more likely to get a good user base in there. And that's not just to pump the numbers up, it's just more engaging that way, If I play it and there's one person who jumps in and like, hey, hi, okay, bye. As opposed to like 15 people watching, like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, you should do that. How does this work? It's a new game. I don't know how this works. Let's check that out. Go over there. It's just much more engaging, I think. And I do want to start streaming, not just Animal Crossing, but Mario Maker, Last of Us 2 when that comes out. I got a laundry list of games that I'm going to be getting. And that's why I have to set up the new SSD. Much faster. It's 10 times faster than the hard drive that's in there already, if the hard drive that's in there already was in mint condition, which it's not. It's like 7 years old. It's failing. I know. I'm an IT guy. I worked in an IT firm before. I do software development on and off, not much lately anymore. So, like, I know how to do all this stuff. I'm just slacking. It's just like one of those things where you're like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm not really worried about it today, which is always what I told the people who I did IT for, not the company I did it for, but the clients we did it for. So I was like, yeah, you think that now, and then when it goes bam, you're going to be upset. And I'm being them right now, so it's hypocritical. It's all that stuff. But, you know, sometimes that is what it is. But with that being said, you know, all these games coming out, this channel is going to have a lot of gaming content on it. And that's one reason I wanted to do this podcast. That's one reason I want to start doing more sketch videos or challenge videos. I hate using the term challenge video because it sounds so like 2011 YouTube collab, but you know, doing, and when I so what I mean by that is challenge videos like you saw the one video, you may have seen the one video I did like 2-3 months ago, which was a fake podcast where I had two of me together recording. Oh, there goes the dog. Where I had two of me together recording, and it was an uncut, like, I don't know, 6-minute video or something where you basically, it was me talking to myself, but they were both on screen and they were both responding, which takes a lot of work to do, but that's like a cool idea for something I'd like to do in the future. I used to do it a lot more back in the day too, but that concept of the uncut is what's really cool. Let me check what that dog's barking about, and I'll be right back. The other thing that stinks about day one setup is I didn't plan out where the cables are going to be, so they're kind of all over the place. I have to dig up under them. Asthma. It's a pain. So that was my Remy, the female dog. She gets really like I don't want to say separation anxiety, even though it is sort of that. But like, she doesn't care when I come home at all. Like, she's excited for 10 minutes, and if I walk away and come up here, she's like, all right, cool. But the second my girlfriend comes in, because it's her dog, asthma, man. Second she comes in, if she comes upstairs and she's in the shower now and doesn't pay her attention, she'll, after like 3 minutes, just start barking like, mom, 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 what's going on? So you gotta go down and be like, hey, relax, chill. What was I saying? So gaming content. So that video I made where, you know, it's me talking to myself, it's real fun. Videos like that are a lot of fun. And I might even maybe do a skit or a sketch at some point again. I don't have anything planned right now. But the reason I'm sort of pivoting to gaming is not just because everyone else is. It's literally, not that everyone else is, but you know what I mean. It's literally the fact that I want to post a lot of content, but because I can't vlog much anymore, I'll end up posting like a video every other week if all I did was vlog. So gaming's fun because you can sit down, I can sit down and play for like 4 hours and record like 6 videos. So if I spend one day, so I get 2 days off a week. If I spend one of my days off recording, I can record all the videos I'll need for the entire next week. And then game videos aren't hard to edit because all you got to do is cut between the parts that aren't interesting, which depends on the game. So it's not a lot of like, oh man, that shot needs to be tweaked a little bit, or this has to be tweaked. Like, you're just watching a video game being played. So the edits are fairly easy. You're just going in and placing out the parts that are not boring, but like, you know, if you're playing Mario and you're playing the same level 4 times because you died, you don't want to watch me play the whole level 4 times. You want to see me play until I die. And then maybe you want to see me play again until I die one more time if it was interesting, funny, or real challenging and you want to see me get to it. But most of the time, you know, you play a level, you die at some point, and then the second time, you jump in like halfway through that level and get back to where you pass. So stuff like that. But because of that, then I remember this podcast, which is, other than same thing, there's only really a couple edits I got to do out of here. Then I can throw up a whole half-hour video once a week. So between, the gaming content, which is going to be mostly gaming content. So when I say mostly, I mean quantity per week. So my goal right now is to get back to basically a daily upload schedule. So from now on, Wednesdays are going to be the podcast videos. Ooh, hiccups. Sorry. So I would say Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. For right now, so there's 7 days in a week. 7. One's the podcast video. Leaves it down to 6. 2 a week are going to be Mario. Boom. 2 a week are... Right now, because it's the new, I'll probably do 3 a week for Animal Crossing. And that leaves 1 day a week left for something else. So essentially, 5 days of the week are going to be gaming. One's going to be podcast, and the 7th one's going to be like a random video. Whether that's a sketch, I don't know, something else is to be seen. But those 5 gaming days, they're not always going to be 2 Mario and 3 Animal Crossing. That's just what they're going to be right now, because that's what I'm playing right now. But, when The Last of Us comes out of those 5 days, 2 of them are going to go back to Last of Us. Then, 1 or 2 for Mario and 1 for Animal Crossing. Especially because after, 2 weeks of Animal Crossing, the content doesn't really change much. It's more of you can do a good 20 videos of Animal Crossing until you get to a point where it gets repetitive to watch. I'm assuming I played a couple Animal Crossing games before, and you get to a point where you're really just, all right, I wake up, I grind, because you've unlocked everything. You wake up, you grind, you get supplies, and then you leave. So at some point, that's going to drop from 3 videos to 2 a week to eventually 1 a week. Mario is probably always going to stay around too, because Mario's just so much fun to play. How I'm actually going to do it will change for week. I'm not always going to make Tuesdays endless super runs, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should watch the next Mario video I post. And I think at some point I'm also going to make the days of the week specific to each game. So for right now, it's 5 days a week are going to be gaming. Wednesdays are podcasts. And I think I'm going to make Sunday the weird video day, which leaves Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for gaming. And they're not going to be Monday, Tuesday, Mario, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Animal Crossing. They'll kind of one Mario, one Animal Crossing, one Mario, one et cetera, et cetera. So with that being said, I hope you stay for the content. I really want it to continue to evolve. And that, again, kind of feeds back to the whole point of this podcast is a lot of YouTube channels decide they're going to do something and then they stick with it forever. I am never, ever, ever, ever going to be successful at that or even good at it because I just can't. My life changes a lot. My interest changes a lot. What I want to do change a lot. So I have a feeling as long as I keep with 7 videos a week, I'm at least being consistent with the content I'm putting out. But I won't always be consistent with the type of content I'm putting out. So having a podcast to be able to talk about, hey, this week we're going to do a couple things differently, is kind of a nice, for me, way to do this and get those questions out of the way. And yes, I also know not everybody that watches an Animal Crossing video is going to watch a whole 30-minute podcast every week. But again, like I said, I'll grow and evolve with it, and we'll figure it out together. And if you're somebody who would totally listen to the podcast, but you're not going to sit on a YouTube video for 30 minutes, let me know, and I'll start making them audio as well as video. But I think I'm always going to do a video portion of it just because it's I always feel, especially when we get into the advice stuff and the question stuff, I always feel the video format is so much more engaging. Because if you listen to an advice podcast and then you listen to an advice video, I always think the advice video is more impactful because you're seeing expression, you're seeing thinking going on, thinking going on. And I like that format better for advice or questions or any of that type of content. Plus, it'll be fun to do it as a live stream here and there so that it's not just me by myself. It's me interacting with you guys. And you just can't do that if it's audio only. Not that I can't turn that into an audio format afterwards, but you know what I'm saying, because I think I'm beating a dead horse at this point. But this is episode 1. This is the It Doesn't Have to Make Sense podcast. It doesn't have to make sense it was a saying I've been doing for years, so I just figured why not stick with it. I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about today. That was kind of everything I had on my plate. I do want to push these to be about a half-hour minimum. This one's a little short, so next week I'll have the cable set up, I'll have the camera set up. We'll do it a little bit nicer. And like I said, I don't always record these on Wednesday. I might record the next one tomorrow because I'll have time to get everything set up. And that's the last thing I'll say about doing the gaming videos. The nice thing about those is if I have 2 days off back to back, I could sit there and record 2 weeks worth of videos in like 7 or 8 hours. So you can kind of get ahead, which is nice. Because I think one thing I always struggled with this channel was getting ahead of the content. Because I felt like for a lot of my YouTube career, I was living that Casey Neistat mentality where you film a video, you edit it that day and post it the next morning. Or, you know, you film a video one day and post it the next day. And it's just not something my current life schedule is going to be helpful with. You know what I mean? It's just retail life, man. You got random schedules all the time and things come up, and it's nice to know that nothing has felt better for me than when I have 8 days worth of videos scheduled. I've only done that once, I think, maybe twice. Not 8 days, but a couple days ahead of time. And it was such like a relief, like, oh, I could actually not do anything for the next 2 days and still be caught up. Not that I would want to, because I want to stay ahead of it. But the cool part about that is when I feel like I'm under the gun, I do some of my best content. However, when I feel like I'm under the gun, I'm extremely stressed out. And the thing about this, YouTube, the content, the gaming, the podcasting, all that stuff, this is all stuff that's fun for me. And if I make this just one other thing in my life that stresses me out, it's just, what's the point of doing this? I do this because I enjoy it. So let's keep it enjoyable and let's not make it something that stresses me out. You know what I mean? Not that work stresses me out. Well, it does, but not for a bad reason. You know, it's just, you got stuff going on at work you got to take care of. You're on top of things. You're in charge of stuff. You're stressed, but not a bad stress, not a negative connotation. But your brain, in my opinion, your brain only has a finite amount of things it can worry about. And being able to make my channel something I don't have to worry about is my goal. And that's awesome. So I think that little diatribe pushed us just about around a half hour. Definitely put some comments on this video. I'm very bad at the end of videos saying comment on this or comment on that or subscribe or like or all those thumbs up crap. But I do hope you subscribe to this, because I think this video in particular every week is going to be kind of my main guiding light for where the channel goes, and it's where I want to be able to interact with you guys the most. And comments would be great, because I will definitely address them in the next video, the next podcast video. I think that's a good call to action, using a CTA. Any comments that are posted on this video, I will respond to on the next podcast video. So maybe I'll wait a day or two to record this, just so some people get a chance to comment. I'm not saying I'll respond to every single one, but I'm still a small channel, so I might only get one comment, so I'll respond to it. And it doesn't have to make sense. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.